Good morning, Timothy. How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Okay, I really hope you're doing well. Okay, now before we'll delve into today's lesson, let's first have an activity. In this activity, I will be asking you some questions. But first, I have here something for you today. Now, what do you think is this?
A box,
What kind of box?
a gift,
Okay, it is a gift or a present. Okay, very good. Now, have you ever given a gift to someone before?
yes,
And who did you give a gift to?
my classmate.
Can you
When it's her birthday,
Okay, can you share your experiences when giving gifts to others or receiving gifts?
um, when giving a gift,
Like for example, what was the gift that you received that you liked the most?
um,
Something like that.
I really like the most is when my parents gave me a tumbler
A tumbler? Why a tumbler?
because my old tumbler is broken, so they bought me a new one.
Ah, okay. So you can use it during summer.
Yes,
Okay. Now, very good. Now, thank you for sharing your experience. Now, moving on for today's session, we are going to learn how to write a clear, meaningful paragraph. And to help us, we'll also read and talk about The Gift of Maggie by O. Henry. Now, let's begin by reading the story first. Are you ready?
yes.
Okay, you may now begin.
The gift of Maggie. $1.87. That was all, and 60 cents of it was in pennies. Pennies saved one and two at a time by bulldozing the grocer and the vegetable man and the butcher, until one's cheeks burned with the silent imputation of parsimony that such close dealing implied 3 times Della counted. $1.87, and the next day would be Christmas. There was clearly nothing to do but flop down on the shabby little couch and hold. So Della did it, which instigates the moral reflection that life is made up of stops, snipples, and smiles, with snipples predominating. While the mistress of the home is gradually subsidating from the first age to the second, take a look at the home, a furnished flat at
Hmm. If you have any questions, let me know. What is it? Per flat at $8 per week.
$8 per week. It did not exactly beggar description, but it certainly had that word on the lookout for the mendicancy squad.
Mendicancy. Okay.
In the vestibule below was a letter box into which no letter would go, and an electric button from which no mortal finger could
Good. Good coax.
could coax a ring. Also, a pertaining ter- teriento was
Where is it? The pertaining
a pertaining
Teriunto.
teriento was a card bearing the name Mr. James Dillingham Young, and the Dillingham had been flung to the breeze during a former period of prosperity, when its possessor was being paid $30 per week. Now, when the income was shrunk $20, the letters of Dillingham looked blurred, as though they were thinking seriously of contracting to a modest and unassuming deed. But whenever Mr. James Dillingham Young came home and reached his flat above, he was called Jim, and he greatly hugged by Mrs. James Dillingham Young, already introduced to you as Della, which is all very good. Della finished her cry and attended to her cheeks with the powder rag. She stood by the window and looked out dully at a gray cat walking a gray fence in a gray backyard. Tomorrow would be Christmas Day, and she had only $1.87 with which to buy Jim a present. She had been saving every penny she could use for months with this result. $20 a week doesn't go far. Expenses had been greater than she had calculated. They always are. Only $1.87 to buy a present for Jim. Her Jim many a happy hour she had spent planning for something nice for him. Something fine and rare and sterling, something just a little bit near to being worthy of the honor of being owned by Jim. There was a pier glass between the windows of the room. Perhaps you have seen a pier glass in an $8 flat. A very thin and very agile person may, by observing his reflection in a rapid sequence of long, long,
Long, longitudinal,
longi-
longitudinal.
longitudinal skits, obtain a fairly accurate conception of his looks. Della, being slender, had mastered the art. Suddenly she whirled from the window and stood before the glass. Her eyes were shining brilliantly, but her face had lost its color within 20 seconds. Rapidly she pulled down her hair and let it fall to its full length. Now there were two possessions of the James Dillingham Youngs, in which they both took a mighty pride. Once was James' gold watch had been his father's and his grandfather's. The other was Delia's hair. Had the Queen of Sheba lived in the flat across the Ayrshire, Delia would have let her hair out of the window some day to try just to decorate her Majesty's jewels and gifts. Had King Solomon been the janitor with all his treasures filled up in the basement, Jim would have pulled out his watch every time he passed, just to see him pluck and at his bird from envy.
Continue.
So now Della's beautiful hair fell about her, rippling and shining like a cascade of brown waters. It reached below her knee and made itself almost a garment for her. And then she did it up again nervously and quickly. Once she faltered for a minute and stood still while a tear or two splashed on the worn red carpet. On went her old brown jacket, on went her old brown hat. With the whirl of skirts and with the brilliant sparkle still in her eyes, she fluttered out the door and down the stairs to the street, where she stopped. The sign read,
Which one? Hmm?
mm, Ronnie, her goods
It's
of
a name. M-E. M-M-E. Me.
M M
Me.
M me
Yes, it's a name of age.
M me Sophrony, her goods of all kinds. One flight up, Della ran and collected herself, panting. Madame large two white, chilly, hard look dash of Romy. Will you buy my hair? Asked Della. I buy hair, said Madame. Take your hat off and let's have a sight at the looks of it.
Okay, stop there for now. Um, what so far? What have you understood in the story?
Um, um, Della wanted to buy a gift for
Or
Jim.
for his husband. And what did she do?
She has two decisions. to sell James' watch or cut
Cut.
her hair.
Okay, continue.
I'll buy. Down rippled the brown cascade. $20, said Madame, lifting the mask with a practiced hand. Give it to me quick, said Della. Oh, and the next 2 hours shoot by on rosy wings. Forget the hash metaphor. She was ransacking the stores of Jim's present. She found it at last. Surely had been made for Jim and no one else. There was no other like it in any of the stores, and she had turned all of them inside out. It was a platinum fob chain, simple and chaste in design, properly proclaiming its value by substance alone and not by meritorious ornamentation.
Okay, stop there. A fat chain is something like this. Jim's watch was supposed to be like a pocket watch from his grandfather. Okay, continue.
As all good things should do, it was even worthy of the watch. As soon as she saw it, she knew that it must be Jim's. It was like
It was.
him, quietness and value. The description applied to both. $21 they took from her for it, and she hurried home with the 87 cents. With that chain on his watch, Jim might be properly anxious about the time in any company. Grand as the watch was, he sometimes looked at it on the sly on account of the old leather strap that he used in place of a chain. When Della reached home, her intoxication gave away with a little prudence and reason. She got out her curling iron and lighted the gas and went to work preparing the ravages made by generosity.
Ravages.
Ravages. Generosity added to love, which is always a tremendous task, dear friends, a mammoth task. Within 14 minutes, her head was covered with tiny close lying curls that made her look wonderfully like a true one schoolboy. She looked at her reflection in the mirror long, carefully, and critically. Jim doesn't kill me, she said to herself. Before he takes a second look at me, he'll say I look like a Coney Island chorus girl. But what could I do? Oh, what could I do with $8.87? At 7 o'clock, the coffee was made and the frying pan was on the back of the stove, hot and ready to cook the chops. Jim was never late. Della dou- doubled the fob chain in her hand and sat on the corner of the table near the door that he always entered. Then she heard his step on the stairway,
Stairways.
stairways down on the first fight, and she turned white for just a moment. She had a habit for saying a little silent prayers about the simplest everyday things, and now she whispered, Please God make him think I'm still pretty. The door opened and Jim stepped in and closed it. She looked in and very serious. Poor fellow, he is only 22 and to be burdened with a family. He needed he needed a new overcoat and he was without gloves. I'm s- Jim stopped inside the door as immovable as the scent of quail. His eyes were fixed about Della, and there was an expression in them that she could not read, and it terrified her. It was not anger, not surprise, nor disapproval, nor horror, nor any of the sentiments that she had been prepared for. He simply stared at her fixedly with an peculiar expression peculiar expression on his face. Della wrinkled off the table and went for him. Jim,
Can you
darling.
move this way? Parang?
Jim, darling, she cried. She doesn't look at me that way. I had my hair cut off and sold it because she couldn't have lived through Christmas without giving you a present. You'll grow again, you won't mind. Will you? I just had to do it. My hair grows awfully fast. Say Merry Christmas, Jim, and let's be happy. You don't know what a beautiful, nice gift I got for you. You've got your hair, asked Jim, laboriously, as if he had not arrived at that patent fact yet. Even after the hardest mental labor, cut it off and sold it, said Della. Don't you like me as well, anyhow? I'm me without my hair and I. Jim looked about the room curiously. To say your hair is done, he said, with an air almost of idiocy. We needed to look for it, said Della. We sold, I'll tell you. Sold and gone to. It's Christmas Eve, boy. Be good to me for it went for you. Maybe the hairs of my head were numbered, she went on with sudden serious sweetness. But nobody could ever count my love for you. Shall I put chops on Jim? Out of his trance, Jim seemed quickly to wake. He unfolded his Della for 10 seconds and let us regard with discreet scrutiny for currently some inconsequent,
Percent
inconsequential
inconsequential.
object inconsequential
Inconsequential. Sequential.
inconsequential
Okay, good.
object in the other direction. $8 a week or a million a year. What is the difference? A mathematician or a wit would give you the wrong answer. The Maggie brought valuable gifts, but that was not among them. The dark assertion will be illuminated later on. Jim drew a package from his overcoat pocket and threw it upon the paper. Don't make any mistake, Dell, he said about me. I don't think there's anything in the way of a haircut or a shave or a shampoo that could make me haggard any less. But, but if you'll unwrap the package, you may see why I'd be going a while at first. White fingers and nimble tore at the string and paper. Then there's an ecstatic scream of joy, and then, alas, a quick feminine change to hysterical tears and wails, necessitating the immediate employment of all com- comforting powers of the lord of the flat. For there lay the combs, the set of combs, side and back, Stella had worshipped long in a Broadway window. Beautiful combs, pure tortoise shell with a jeweled ring, just the shape to wear in beautiful vanished hair. They were expensive combs, she knew, and her heart simply craved and yearned over them without the least hope of possession.
Okay, stop there for now. So, what do you think happened after Ella
Um,
cut her hair?
um, Jim was really shocked
Shock. And why? Why is that?
because Jim gifted her a 4 sets of comb.
And she
She already cut her
her hair. Okay, continue. Move here, just so that your camera can see.
And now they were hers, but the dresses that she should have adorned, the coveted adornment,
Coveted.
coveted adornments were gone. But she hugged them to her bosom, and at length she was able to look up with a dim eyes and a smile and say, "My hair grows fast, Jim." And then Della lit up like a little singing cat and cried, "Oh, oh." Jim had not yet seen his beautiful present. She held it out to him eagerly upon her open palm. The dual precious metal seemed to flash with a reflection of her bright and ardent spirit. "Isn't it a dandy, Jim? I hunted all over town to find it. You'll have to look at the time 100 times a day now. Give me your watch. I want to see how it looks on you." Instead of obeying, Jim tumbled down on the couch and put his hands under the back of his head and smiled. "Dell," said he, "let's put our Christmas presents away and keep him a while. They're so nice to use just at present. I sold the watch to get the money to buy your coat. And now suppose you put the chops on." The Magi, as you know, were wise men, wonderfully wise men, who brought gifts to the babe in the manger. They invented the art of giving Christmas presents. Being wise, their gifts were no doubt wise ones, possibly bearing the privilege of exchange in case of duplication. And there I have lamely related to you the uneventful chronicle of two foolish children in a flat who most unwisely sacrificed for each other the greatest treasure of their house. But in a last word of the wise of these days, let it be said that it's all who give gifts. These two were the wise wisest of all who give and receive gifts such as their wisest. Everywhere they are wisest, they are the mag.
Okay, very good. So, after that, what have you understood at the end?
Um, they both sacrifice just to buy
Gifts.
gifts.
Okay. Now that you have read the story, let us now move on to our discussion on how to write a paragraph. Now listen carefully because after this we will have an activity. Now, there are three things that you must consider in writing a paragraph. A paragraph consists of three important parts, which is for the first one is the topic sentence. This is the first sentence of your paragraph. It tells the reader what your paragraph is going to be about. It's like the main idea. Like, for example, after reading The Gift of Maggie, a topic sentence could be the story The Gift of Maggie teaches about love, sacrifice, and more valuable materials than gifts. Now, what do you think this paragraph will talk about based on that topic sentence? Talks about like what are the themes? I'll read the topic sentence again. The gift of Maggie teaches us that love and sacrifice are more valuable than material gifts. Based on that line, what do you think is the gift of Maggie all about?
Love
Yes, and
selfless.
okay, very good. Now, there are here is the supporting details, which is the second one. These are the sentence that explains or give examples to support the topic sentence. They help prove your main idea. In our story, we can include how Della sold her hair for a chain to buy for a present on Christmas Day for Jim, and how Jim sold his watch to buy a comb for Della as his Christmas present to her. This detail shows how much they love each other and how they are willing to give up something important for the other person. Okay, now, can you tell me one supporting detail about the story that we could include in a paragraph? What did Della and Jim do?
They
Okay.
they sacrifice
They sacrificed
their watch and hair
which are very important.
to them.
Okay. For the last one is the third one is the concluding sentence. This is the last sentence in your paragraph. It reinstates your main idea in a new way or give a final thought. For example, this shows that true love means putting someone else's happiness before your own. Now, why do you think it's important to have a strong ending? Like, in your opinion, why do you think it's important that the story must have a very good ending? Like, when you're
To
reading a
make
book.
the story good and
Like, let's focus on the ending. Why do you think it's important? Like, you've read a story. So, of course, if you read a very long story but the ending is bad, what would you feel?
I will feel sad.
Sad? Sad? Maybe disappointed,
Yes.
right? Like, because you've read a really long story and you
And,
like the characters.
And the end.
Okay, now, get it? Very good. Now, let's review. What are the three parts or of a clear paragraph?
Main topic.
Main
Support,
topic, support, and then
Contrast.
conclusion.
Conclusion.
Concluding sentence. Okay. Now, moving on, let's do an activity entitled Unwrapping Meaning. Now, we're in this activity. I have here a crumpled paper that has a layer that contains questions. And you will unwrap and answer it one by one. Are you ready? Okay, here is the crumpled paper. Now, you may now begin. You'll begin by unwrapping here. Okay. Read the question and then answer after.
What do you think is
Can you read it loudly?
What do you think is the main theme of the story, The Gift of the Magi? Why? I think the main theme is selfless love and sacrifice.
Okay.
Jim and Della gave up something very important to them to make each other happy. Even though their gifts couldn't be used, the story shows that their love was more valuable than any present.
Okay. Very good. Then the next one.
How would you describe Della's character? What actions show this? Della is loving, thoughtful, and generous. She only had $1.87,
Okay.
but still wanted to buy a special gift for Jim. She cut and sewed her long hair, which was very precious to her. Just she could afford something nice for him.
Okay, very good. One.
What do you think Jim felt when he saw Della's hair was done? Why didn't he get angry? Jim was probably surprised at first, but he
Yes.
wasn't angry because he understood what Della's sacrifice showed her love. He also made a sacrifice so he could understand her actions and appreciate the meaning behind them.
Okay. Very good. One is.
Do you think their gifts were foolish or wise? Explain your answer. Their gifts were wise in an emotional way. Even though they couldn't use them, the gifts showed how much they loved
Love.
each other.
Okay,
The
because they
value,
sacrifice.
the value of the gift was not in the object but in the love behind it.
Okay, very good. One.
If you were in Della's place, would you have done the same thing? Why or why not? I think I would if I really loved someone and wanted to make them happy. Even though it was hard, Della thought more about Jim than about herself,
Herself.
and I admire that.
Okay. The last one.
What lesson do you think the author wants readers to learn from this story? The author wants us to understand that love and thoughtfulness are more valuable than expensive things.
Okay, very good. It seems that you really understand our story. Okay, great. Good job, Timothy. It seems that you're really able to grasp the story now. With that, let's use what we learned to write our own paragraph or your own paragraph about the story, The Gift of Maggie. In this activity, you will apply your understanding on how to write a paragraph by writing a short sequel of The Gift of Maggie using the elements of a clear paragraph, which is the topic sentence, supporting details, and concluding sentence. You will imagine what happens next in Jim's Della story, and after that, you will read your work out loud. Is that clear? Okay, you may now write your answer on a separate sheet of paper and tell me when you're done already. It's like after the ending, what do you think happened? Create a short story about it. Tell me when you're done. Can you move here? Can you move here? Yeah. Okay, there we go. Oh, you're like writing a story. You're not writing from first person. You're like writing from someone who's telling a story to the reader. It's like a sequel. After the story of Jim and Della, like after the ending, what do you think happened? Like you can start from maybe once upon a time, something like that after the story, yeah. Okay, so can you read what you worked or what you made?
Once upon a time,
Okay.
there were one couple who lived in London. There is Della. She has a long hair now. Her husband is
Ah.
Jim, who worked really hard. Now they became successful. Della has a salon, while Jim has a watch store. They have two kids, Delia, who helps her mom in the salon, and James, who helps his dad. Della and James' store became the town's favorite. They have a happy life at the big homestead.
Okay, so you made like they're already well off
Yeah.
already, and Della's hair is really long, so she could use the combs. Okay, very good, Timothy. It seems that you really understood what we've done today. I hope you learned something. See you and goodbye.